To make this baby dress, you will need yarn. I've got yarn where 70% wool and 30% alpaca, 3mm needles and markers. Cast on 144 stitches with needle size 3mm plus 1 stitch to close the circle. In the right top corner you will find the link to the video where I show how to cast on. So when you're going to have 145 stitches on your needles, we're going to close the circle. To do that, insert your right needle into the first stitch on your left needle. Slip the stitch as if to purl. Then insert your left needle into the last casted on stitch in the right needle. Pass this stitch over the other, then slip the stitch from your left needle. So now you're going to have 144 stitches. Then insert the marker, so we'll show you that is the beginning of the row. I'll work 2 by 2 rib stitch for 2 centimeters. Start with 2 knits and then 2 purls. Insert markers in each side. So I've got the green marker showing me the beginning of the row, and then in 72 stitches I have another marker. So between the markers 72 stitches. So we divided for the front and for the back. So after marker we'll continue to work rib stitch until the marker, and then a few more rows, so we can have 2 centimeters of rib stitch. When you finish the first row, next rows continue the same, so follow the pattern, knit over knits and purl over purls. So here should be 2 centimeters of rib stitch. So from green to pink it's back, and from pink to green it's front. The pattern will be the same on front and back. So finishing this rib stitch row, switch the marker to the right needle and work 1 centimeters as follow. 32 stitches of seed pattern. It's 1 knit, 1 purl, alternate 1 knit, 1 purl. Last 2 stitches of seed pattern, and when we get to the middle of the back, so here 32 stitches, we do 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit and 1 purl. Then continue with stock stitch over next 33 stitches, so until the pink marker. When we get to the pink marker, so from the pink to the green are going to be a front. We're going to do exactly the same what we did in the back. Start with 32 stitches of the seed pattern, like we did in the beginning. 1 knit, 1 purl. So after 32 of seed pattern, we'll do in the middle 2 knits, 2 purls, knit 2, and 1 purl. And then as we did back, continue with 33 stitches of stocking stitch, so all knits. Then continue this way until you have 1 centimeter from rib stitch. So the second row of the seed pattern, and purl instead of knit and knit instead of purl. So purl over knit and knit over purl. Again, 32 stitches of this pattern. Then in the middle we continue the same 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit and 1 purl, and then 33 stitches of stocking stitch, all knit. And the same for the front. Seed stitch, so second part of the second row of the seed pattern, purl, knit, purl over knit and knit over purl for 32 stitches. And again in the middle of the front, 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit and 1 purl. Then continue with stocking stitch. So continue with seed pattern, so knit over purl, purl over knit. Then we'll have, this is always the middle part, 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit and 1 purl. And then stocking stitch. And the same for the front, seed pattern. Then the middle part with 2 knits, 2 purl, 2 knits, 1 purl. and stocking stitch. So we've got 1 centimeter from rib stitch, and then we're going to make a first decrease from both sides. So we're going to knit 2 together this way. Then continue the pattern, so purl over knit, knit over purl. Don't forget about the middle part where we do 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit and 1 purl. And then stocking stitch until 2 stitches remain before marker. So we have 2 stitches before marker. We're going to slip first stitch as if to knit, knit 1, then pass slip stitch over, so we decreased 1, and then do the same what we did in the beginning, knit 2 together, then work seed pattern, so purl over knit, knit over purl. Then middle part with 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knits, 1 purl. And stocking stitch until 2 stitches remaining before the marker. And again, slip the first stitch as if to knit, knit the second, and pass the slipped one over the stitch. So you decreased 4 stitches in total. So now continue with the same pattern of seed pattern, the middle, 2 knits, 2 purl, 2 knits, 1 purl, and the stocking stitch over the front and back the same until you have 6 centimeters from the bottom. So, and repeat decreases like we've just done every 2 centimeters, a total of 6 times. After decreasing, you're going to have 120 stitches on your needles. So we have 2 centimeters after our first decreasing. So now we're going to do the second one. After marker, knit 2 together. So this way. And then continue the pattern until you have 2 stitches remaining before the marker. And before the marker, we're doing this way, as we did last time. Slip first one knitwise, knit 1, and then pass slipped stitch over. Then after marker, we're doing how we did in the beginning, knit 2 together. Then continue in the marker until 2 stitches left before the end of the round. and again decrease in slip, 1 knit, pass slipped stitch over, and continue the pattern. So now we have 6 centimeters from the bottom, and we're going to change a little bit the pattern. So after the marker, we're going to knit the back. We do continue with seed pattern, so purl over knit and knit over purl. The middle part always stays the same. We do 2 knit, 2 purls, 2 knits, and 1 purl. Then instead of stocking stitch, we're going to do a garter stitch. So a garter stitch made of 2 rows. This one we're going to purl. So from here until the marker purl, and in the next row we're going to knit. And from the pink marker, which it means front, going to do the same seed pattern, middle part, and the garter stitch. So we'll do this pattern 5 rows, so 4 more rows. A seed pattern, the middle part, 2 knits, 2 purls, 2 knits, 1 purl. And in this row we're doing the all knits, so we continue with garter stitch, but this row is knit. So the next row, 3rd out of 5th, we do seed pattern. Middle pattern, 2 needs 2 purl, 2 needs 1 purl, and this time it's purl, so we alternate in row of the purl or row of the knit. So previous were knit, so this time it's purl again. So 4th out of 5th, seed pattern. In the middle. And the garter stitch this time is knit. And the 5th row is seed pattern. The middle part, 2 needs 2 purl, 2 needs 1 purl. And the garter stitch, all purl until the marker. After you finish these 5 rounds, we're going to do the next section. So seed pattern. Then the middle part, 2 knits, 2 purl, 2 knits, 1 purl. Then we're going to do a new pattern, a hive pattern. The first round is start with 1 purl and 1 knit. Then we're going to do 4 purls, 2 knits, and repeat from here. So 4 purls, 2 knits. So alternate 4 purls, 2 knits until you have 2 stitches left before the marker. And the last 2 stitches will be 1 knit, 1 purl. Next row, the second for the hive pattern, but we start with decreasing because we have already 2 centimeters from the last decrease we've done. So the first 2 knit together. And then continue with seed pattern. Middle section. And hive pattern, just follow the pattern, purl over purls and knit over knits. And last 2 decrease, slip, knit, then pass the slipped stitch over. And do the same on the front side. Decrease in the beginning and decrease before the green marker. Next 2 rows work the same, the third and fourth seed pattern, the middle part, and then hive pattern. Just follow the pattern, purl over purls and knit over knit, so nothing changes. Next row, fifth on this section, nothing changed in the beginning, so seed pattern in the middle, but then there's some changes in the hive pattern. So here we're going to do that again, middle part, 2 knits, 2 purl, 2 knits, 1 purl. So hive pattern, and first purl, 1 knit, then with these 3 stitches we're going to tilt 1 stitch, the knit stitch, to the left, skip 1, leave it in front of the knitting, move these 2 purl stitches, place the knit one on the left needle replace the purls and knit like you would normally do. Follow the pattern purl, purl, and the knit. So you can see the knit stitch is tilt to the left. Then we're going to do the same but tilt to the right. Skip these 2 stitches. Leave the knit in front of the knitting. Replace these 2 purls and now the knit stitch plays back to the left. So we're going to do the knit and 2 purls. So now you can see the knit stitches tilt to the right. And continue to do this way. Tilt to the left and then tilt to the right. So rearrange them. So you have a knit on the left and replace from the right needle 2 purls. And knit them like you would normally do. Purl 2 and knit. Just check that your knit stitch face in the right direction, so it should be first left and the next one tilt to the right. Rearrange them. So purls go first on the left needles and then the knit. And work as you would normally do. Knit 1 and purl 2. The next round is just following the pattern, seed pattern, the middle section and the hive pattern without any changes, just knit over knit and purl over purl. Seventh and eighth round exactly the same, just to follow the pattern. So now this is the 9th round of the new section. So we do the seed pattern like we normally do, then the middle section, 2 knits, 2 purl, 2 knits, 1 purl. And then the hive pattern we're going to change a little bit again. So now the first part would tilt to the right and the second part tilt to the left. So I'm going to show you the first start with a purl, knit, and now we're going to again rearrange the 3 stitches. So place the purls first and now the knit. Yeah, try not to lose that loop. I'll show you the next option if you can use the spare needle, which will make it easier. The knit, 2 purl, and you can see the knit stitch is tilt to the right, and now we can rearrange the next 3 stitches. So the knit stitch facing to the left. Purl 2. And 1 knit. And do the same movements to the next hives. Rearrange 3, so the knit facing to the right, and then rearrange next 3, so knit stitch facing to the left. So I'm going to show you another way you can use the spare needle to hold that 1 stitch in place. So it will be a little bit easier to not lose that 1 stitch. And the last row of hive pattern will be the 10th row. So we start with the seed pattern like we normally do, and the middle part, 2 knits, 2 purl, 2 knits, 1 purl, and the hive pattern which is following the knits over knits and work purl over purls. And don't forget about decreasing. We decrease every 2 centimeters, total of 6 times. So we already have 2 centimeters after the last one. We need 2 together. And the following pattern, seed pattern. The middle section, 2 knits, 2 purl, 2 knits and 1 purl. And hive stitch, we're going to start from the 3rd row. So we will miss the 1st and 2nd. 1st and 2nd rows just set rounds. Now the 3rd round, following the pattern. And the next row the same, just following the pattern. when you have 10.5 centimeters from the start, we're going to do a new section where the first part of the knitting we will do garter stitch. So we will do all purls. So this section we're going to do for 5 rounds. So the first one is all garter stitch purls. Then we have a middle part, 2 knits, 2 purls, 2 knits and 1 purl. And our hive pattern. In this round we need to swap the stitches around to make the knit stitches look in. So the first knit stitch will face to the left and the next one to the right. So we're going to do it every 4th row, alternating. The knit stitches will incline in or out. This time it's in, and then in 3 rounds will be out. The second round of 5, it's again garter stitch, but this time knit. Middle section, 2 knits, 2 purl, 2 knits, 1 purl. And the hive pattern where we're just following the knit over knit and purl over purls. So we've done 2 rounds, then we're going to have again purl, then knit, then purl, and continue with the hive pattern. So now it's the 5th round of this section. This is garter stitch where we do purls. Two knits, 2 purls, 2 knits, 1 purl in the middle. And then the hive pattern, where this time we're going to swap the stitches around to make the knit stitches facing out. So we finished these 5 rounds with garter stitch, and in the next round, this first part, we're going to work in stocking stitch. So we're going to work all knits until the middle. The middle part, and then continue with hive pattern until you will have 12.5 centimeters from the start. And again, reminder, after 2 centimeters from the last decreasing, make another decrease. So here I've got 12.5 centimeters from the start, and the new section is first half is stocking stitch. So continue with this pattern. Then after the middle section, we're doing garter stitch instead of the hive pattern. and we're going to start with a purl. So again, this pattern will be for 5 rounds. So the second round of the 5 starts again with stocking stitch, the same middle part, 2 knits, 2 purls, 2 knits, 1 purl, and the last half is garter stitch, and this round is all knits. So here I need to do another decreasing because it's been 2 centimeters from the last one. So again, the first one is knit 2 together. And the slip stitch knit and pass slip stitch over before the marker. So finish the last 3 rounds of the 5 with a garter stitch in the end, and you should have about 14 centimeters from the start. The next section is really easy. You will do stocking stitch in the first part, so continue with the same pattern. Then the middle part, 2 knits, 2 purl, 2 knits, 1 purl. And continue with the stocking stitch over the next half, so all knits. Work this way for 3 centimeters, so until you have 17 centimeters from the start. So I have 17 centimeters. The next section, we're going to work for 5 rounds. We'll do the first half, it's garter stitch, start with a purl row. Then of course the middle part, 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit, 1 purl, and the second half are going to be a stocking stitch, so all knits. And the next second round of 5 garter stitch, this time it's knits, and after the middle part it's stocking stitch, so knit until the marker. And work this way for 5 rounds, and you're going to have about 18.5 centimeters after you finish. So finish 5th round of this section, so we have 18.5 centimeters. And the next section is, we start with the braids. We're going to do 2 purls, 6 knits, and alternate from there. Two purls and 6 knits. So work 2 purls, 6 knits until the marker. Then we do the middle part and finishing with stocking stitch, so all knits. The next second round of this section, going to do 2 purl, 6 knits. So just following the pattern, knit over knit and purls over purls. And after the middle part, stocking stitch. And then I'm going to do exactly the same, one more round. So we're going to have 3 rounds before we go into twist our braids. So now this is the 4th round. We're going to purl 2. You can use the same needle I've got or just a normal spare needle. Move 3 stitches on the needle and leave it in front of the knitting. Knit the next 3. Then replace from the spare needle back to the left knitting, or just knit from the spare needle. the 3 you left in front. So we have first braid, then purl 2, and repeat this twist. So skip the 3 to the spare needle, leave in front of the knitting, knit next 3, replace back to the left needle or knit from the spare needle the 3 you left in front of the knitting. And continue this way until you finish your braids. Then you knit your middle part as normal. So we had 3 braids there. So 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit, 1 purl, and finish the second half with a stocking stitch. So then the row after this, we're just following the pattern. Purl over purl and knit over knit. So this twist, the braid, we're going to do every 8th row. So this is the first, and then we'll do 7 more, and on the 8th we're going to do the braid. So same twist as we did in the last round. So you can see I have 7 rounds, and on the 8th I'm going to do another twist. Start with 2 purls, take a spare needle, place it on the needle and leave it in front of the knitting. Knit next 3, and work knitwise the stitches you left in front. Then after you've done braids, do the middle section. And then stocking stitch. Then work this way, so you will twist every 8th row until you have 23.5 centimeters from the start. Now we're going to do another section where we're going to start with the braids. So continue your braids, work 7 rows, and 8th we're going to twist. Same middle section. And then we're going to do the 5 rounds of garter stitch. So start with the pearls. So the second round out of 5, same beginning, the braids, then the middle section, and the garter stitch. Now this time garter stitch will be all knit. So here I've finished 5th round, so I had 5 rounds of garter stitch in the second half. And the last pattern we have, it's braids for the first half. And the middle part. finishing with 1 purl and stocking stitch, all knits. And work this way until you reach the length you want. So I did until I have 26 centimeters from the beginning. So I've got 26 centimeters from the start. We will continue with the same pattern, so braids and stocking stitch, until we finish the dress. But now we're going to divide for the front and the back. So work as normal until you have 4 stitches remaining until the next marker. So we're going to cast off 8 stitches each side, so 4 stitches on each side of every marker. Work as you normally would do. In the right top corner will be a link to the video where I explain how to cast off. So now I have 4 stitches before my second marker, and I'm going to cast off this way 4 stitches. So 1, we did 2, so this is 3, and the 4th. So you can remove the marker and continue to cast off 4 more stitches. So you have 8 stitches cast off on each side. So 8 stitches cast off, then continue work until 4 stitches remaining before the next marker. And here again, cast off 4 stitches before marker and 4 stitches after. So now we're going to continue to work only with the back. So we'll work back and forth. And first we're going to decrease for armholes. So after you're casting off, on the needle you'll have 1 stitch. So work in stocking stitch, so knit 3 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then decrease, we'll go into slip 1, as if to knit, knit 1, and pass slipped stitch over. Then work in the pattern until 6 stitches remaining. So I have 6 stitches left. I knit 2 together and finish it with stocking stitch. Now we're going to turn the knitting and work wrong side. In the beginning of the row I always skip first stitch, so I put the yarn in front of the knitting and skip purlwise and continue as normal. So stocking stitch, that means we'll do purl because it's the wrong side, and just follow the pattern, purl over purl and knit over knit. Then again turn the knit in, so now it's the right side. Continue with the braids as you would normally do. Again, skip the first stitch but knitwise, and decrease one more time. So after 4 stitches, decrease this way. Continue working the pattern until you have 6 stitches remaining. So in the braids we have now 8th round, so we're going to twist. Do the middle part as always, and stocking stitch. So we did 2 decreasing, and we need to decrease in the end of the row. So we have 6 stitches left, and we'll do our decreasing, so 2 knits together, and finish with stocking stitch. I always purl last stitch and skip the first. Turn the knit in, wrong side, so skip purlwise and follow the pattern. Forgot to put the yarn over. So purl over purl, knit over knit. So work this way back and forth, continue with the braid pattern and stocking stitch pattern with the 4 stitches in the beginning and the end of stocking stitch. And work this way until you have 33 centimeters from the start. Now when you have 33 centimeters, we're going to cast off the middle 18 stitches for the neck and finish each shoulder separately. So start like you normally do. So skip the first, and the middle 18 stitches we're going to cast off. So 18 stitches cast off, and we finish in the shoulder, just following the pattern. So now we're going to work on the one shoulder. Work as usual. Then when you turn the knitting around, going to the wrong side, we will cast off 2 stitches from the neck. So skip 1, cast off first one, and cast off the second stitch. Then continue with the pattern until you have about 35 centimeters, and then we will cast off all stitches. So here we finish in the last row, and from the next row we're going to cast off all shoulder stitches. So now we're finished, cut the yarn, pull it through, and we do the other shoulder in the same way. So we're going to start with the right side, and we straight away cast off 2 stitches from the neck, like we did the other shoulder. And then work back and forth, stocking stitch, so just following the pattern until you have 35 centimeters and cast off. So now we're finished with the back and going to do front. So we'll work back and forth, start with the wrong side. So we need to connect the yarn to the knitting. Going to start with the wrong side, just work following the pattern without any changes. So after the wrong side, we turn the knitting. Now we're on the right side and we're going to decrease for the armholes. So skip the first stitch like I did in the back. Knit 3 more. So we have 3 more on the stocking stitch. So 4 in total. Then decrease. Skip first, knit, and pass the slip stitch over the knitted one. And work the pattern. So here we have the 8th row with braids, so we need to twist it. Then work until you have 6 stitches remaining. So we have 6 stitches, knit together 2, and continue with the stocking stitch. So 2 together and stocking stitch, and the last one I pull the yarn because that was where we connected it. Turn the knitting and work the pattern. So on the wrong side we just follow the pattern and we'll do 1 more decrease from the right side. So the right side, 1 skip, 3 knits, decrease. So decrease this way, then continue with the pattern. and then decrease when you have 6 left, decrease two knits together, finishing with stocking stitch, and the last one is purl. When the piece measures 29 centimeters, cast off the middle 12 stitches for the neck, and then we will work each shoulder separately. So start like with a normal pattern. Then cast off the middle 12 stitches. And then finish the next part, just following the pattern. Now we're going to do only this shoulder. Turn the knit in, and we're going to continue to work back and forth. So knit the wrong side, so then turn the knit in, and from the right side we're going to cast off from the neck as follows. So cast off 2 stitches one time, so we'll do 1 and 2. Then on the next right side we'll cast off 1 stitch 3 more times. So this time we cast off 2 stitches. So then turn the knit in, work wrong side, so we cast off on the right side. Now turn the knit into the right side. This time we cast off only 1 stitch. Then the wrong side. Turn the knit in. Again, just cast off one stitch this time, and on the next right side one more time. And the last one, we cast off one stitch. And the same as back, when we'll have 35 centimeters from the start, we're going to cast off. And the same decreasing we're going to do on the other shoulder. Then they're going to sew them together. Okay, this shoulder we're going to start from the wrong side and straight away cast on 2 stitches just once. Then turn the knit in on the right side, just follow the pattern. Then like we did the other shoulder, turn the knitting, and from the neck we'll do 3 times where we decrease in 1 stitch. So cast off 1 stitch and continue with the pattern. Then the next row from the wrong side, again we cast off 1 stitch from the neck. And the last time, it's the 3rd time, we casted off 1 more stitch from the neck edge. Then work until the same length and cast off all stitches. And now we just need to sew 2 shoulders together, place them like the back and the front together, turn inside out, take the hook and you can use the spare yarn which you left from the cast off edge. So take the hook through the 2 sides, so from the stitch on the back and stitch from the front, the yarn over the hook and pull it through both sides. Then yarn over and pull it through the loop. So through both sides, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and again through the 2 sides, yarn over, pull it through, and then again yarn over and through 2 loops. So that we did the seam, and then do the same on the other side. Then we just need to hide all the yarn, wash it and dry flat.